Today's words of wisdom, Let Peace Begin With Us, will be presented in Malay and English with subtitles in Arabic, Australian or Vietnamese, Chinese, Croatian, Dutch, English, French, German, Hebrew, Hindi, Hungarian, Indonesian, Italian, Japanese, Korean, Persian, Polish, Portuguese, Punjabi, Romanian, Russian, Spanish, Thai, Urdu, and Turkish. Malaysia memang sebuah negara yang indah. Negara ini dikurniai banyak bukit dan gunung yang ditumbuhi hutan tebal. Kawasan pantai yang dipinggiri pokok-pokok palma dengan air laut yang kehijauan dan cahaya matahari yang keemasan serta lagun air tawar. Tarikan utama Malaysia adalah dari pencakar langit yang mencual tinggi. Dapat dilihat rumah papan yang dibina di atas kaki pajang. Budaya majmuk, keajaiban alam semula jadi, bandar raya yang besar dan banyak pulau yang indah permai ialah keistimewaan negara yang indah ini. Penduduk Malaysia kebanyakannya ialah orang Melayu, diikuti oleh orang Cina dan India. Budaya majmuk telah banyak mempengaruhi seni bina dan budaya negara ini. Dicerminkan menerusi kaum dan warisan yang pelbagai. Keberbagaian budaya juga telah menjadikan Malaysia sebuah tempat di mana beratus-ratus perayaan yang berlainan diraikan. Warisan budaya dan masyarakat majmuk Malaysia adalah sangat jelas tertonjol menerusi bentuk muzik dan tariannya yang pelbagai. Banyak tokoh yang berani dan mulia adalah berasal dari Malaysia. Pada November 2006, Datuk Muhammad bin Ismail telah dianugerahi hadiah kedamaian Gusi untuk hal ehwal keagamaan dan kemanusiaan, dan bekas Perdana Menteri Tun Dr. Mahathir bin Mohamad telah dicalonkan untuk hadiah kedamaian Nobel 2007. Disebabkan oleh kegairahan orang yang ingin mendapat makrifat, Mahaguru Qinghai telah menerima undangan mereka yang ikhlas dan berkunjung ke Malaysia untuk beberapa kali. Sekarang kami menjemput anda untuk mengikuti syarahan berikut yang diberikan oleh Mahaguru Qinghai bertajuk Biar Kedamaian Bermula Dengan Kita, diberikan pada 1 Oktober 1989 di Malaysia.
Supreme Master Qinghai's lectures are not a complete meditation instruction. Please do not try alone. For free of charge guidance, please visit www.godsdirectcontact.org or contact any of our centers near you.
When you see the different flowers, you look at the heart of the flowers. You look how beautiful they are. How beautiful. And then how nice they smell. What is the purpose of the existence of the flower? It is because God or Buddhas or Tao or Allah loves us so much. He created these things to please our senses, to make our life more beautiful, more bearable, more comfortable. And when you look at the eyes of your children, of your child, it sparks with intelligence, with love, with curiosities to learn, and with the warmth that He gives you every day in the family love. That is when God or Buddhas express their compassion, their love for us. Otherwise, if we don't have these things like children, the love of the children, or the flowers, or the beautiful skies, or the stars, the moon, the sun, our life would be so miserable. So even before we know whether God, Buddhas, saints exist or not, we already can tell there is an unconditional love from don't know where. There exists an unconditional love for all the people, for all things in this world. No, God doesn't love only human beings, God loves also animals. Buddha doesn't only take care of us, he takes care of everything. So you see, even grass is made for the cow, yeah? And the birds, female birds are made for the male, and the honey is made for the bees, and etc. Therefore, in the Christian Bible, it is said, God made everything for every being accordingly. In the Buddhist Sutra, the Buddhas explained that the Buddhas, the Bodhisattva, sometimes transform into kind of animals, birds, flowers, water, in order to serve sentient beings, to help sentient beings. A similar saying use different language, different formulas. So, in order to know God's or Buddha's love for us, we must appreciate all the creations around us. We must look more carefully, more attentively, more gratefully into all things that come into our use. Otherwise, it's easy to forget. Easy to forget and easy to be ungrateful. Now, the Creator, the Buddhas, do not mind if we are ungrateful to them. They do not seek our gratitude. It is just that if we forget to be grateful, then we lose our sense of grandeur. We forgot that there is a greatest power which looks after everything. And at that moment, or in that case, we will feel too lonely. We will feel too desperate and too suffer. Outside, we are grateful for all things that we receive. Inside, we sit still sometimes and know that the Buddha exists and listen to the voice inside, the still voice, and listen to the voice of God, to the voice of Buddhas. And if we do that every day, we will see the great difference in our daily handling, in our intelligence, and in our viewpoint. That is what we call meditation. Now, if only we sit and meditate and listen to God's voice, we would get so much, then it would be too easy. There are some little conditions that we should pay attention to. In the book outside, The Key to Immediate Enlightenment, in English and Chinese, I have spoken actually to my disciples at that time how to advance on the path of knowledge. For example, it's not enough that every day we do like this, and then we close our eyes, and then we sit like the Buddha, and then everybody knows that you are a great practitioner. It's not enough. We must make meditation become a way of life. For example, when we meditate, we will get in touch with God's power and Buddha's power. And then we have to let this God's power or Buddha power manifest in our daily dealing with others. We must become more loving. That is the evidence of our advancement. And now, if we want to prove that we are more loving, then we must do some little charity. We must help the poor. We must be more obedient to our parents, look after the old and the infants, and the widows. Also, we must refrain from too much overindulgence of enjoyments. We must see the suffering of every other creatures as our own. Therefore, we should not rejoice in the killing of animals and then eating them. That is the reason why we should be a vegetarian. And now, if you do not want to follow this vegetarian diet because it's too much problem, because of the business problem, because of the wife doesn't cook problem, because, then there is another alternative way. For example, when the Buddha has first accepted some monks into his teaching, these monks are used to with eating meat. Not only monks, but the lay people as well, used to eating meat because in their country, the grass and the vegetable doesn't grow. So the Buddha said, all right, then you slowly eating meat slowly, and then slowly eating vegetable. So I also, according to the Buddha, I also offer some alternative. For example, we should try to be vegetarian whenever it's convenient for us. And we should try to, as much as we can, making excuse to be a vegetarian, not making an excuse to eat meat. That's what I mean by leaning more and more towards compassion and extending love to all the creatures. Not every religion, not one, doesn't mention that we should extend our love to all beings, not only human beings. So whether we believe in any religions or not, we all can believe in the Sin Bẩn San, in the goodness, in the compassion in our own heart. So we try to save as much life as possible. And it doesn't mean that if you eat one piece of meat and then many things will change, but it is the principle of training our heart towards compassion. Let our compassion grow and not killing our compassion. The intention is important. There are some groups of practitioners, they do not eat vegetarian food. They think it's not convenience. Every day they have to what I mean, entertainment and exchanging friendship with others in business, and they feel it's not convenient to eat vegetarian. So they decide to fast 1 day a week or 2 days a week in order to cut down the meat intake as a sign of leaning toward compassion to all creatures. Therefore, we heard that such and such group have Friday fasting, such and such religion has 1 month fasting a year. These things are the leftover from the very old but very efficient tradition. Also, in Buddhism, we have many kind of vegetarian, like the whole life vegetarian, and then every month 2 days vegetarian, every month 4 days vegetarian, every month 6 days vegetarian, etc., to let people become more used to with the vegetarian diet.
Vegetarianism in religion.
The Baha'i Faith. Regarding the eating of animal flesh and abstinence therefrom, know thou of a certainty that, in the beginning of creation, God determined the food of every living being, and to eat contrary to that determination is not approved. Selections from the Baha'i writings of some aspects of health and healing.
Buddhism. All meats eaten by living beings are of their own relatives. Lankavatara Sutra. Also, after the birth of the baby, care must be exercised not to kill any animal in order to feed the mother with meaty delicacies, and not to assemble many relatives to drink liquor or to eat meat, because at the difficult time of birth there are innumerable evil demons, monsters, and goblins who want to consume the smelly blood. By ignorantly and adversely resorting to the killing of animals for consumption, they bring down curses upon themselves, which are detrimental to both the mother and the baby. Ksitigarbha Sutra. Be careful during the days immediately after someone's death, not killing or destroying, or creating evil karma by worshipping or offering sacrifice to demons and deities, because such killing and slaughtering committed, or such worship performed, or such sacrifice offered, would not have even an iota of force to benefit the dead, but would entwine even more sinful karma into previous karma, making it even deeper and more serious. Thus, delay his rebirth to a good state. Karma means retribution. Ksitigarbha Sutra.
Gaudai. The most important thing is to stop killing, because animals also have souls and understand like humans. If we kill and eat them, then we owe them a blood debt. Teachings of the Saints.
Christianity. Meats for the belly, and the belly for meats, but God shall destroy both it and them. Holy Bible.
And while the flesh was yet between their teeth, ere it was chewed, the wrath of the Lord was kindled against the people, and the Lord smote the people with a very great plague. Holy Bible.
Confucianism. All men have a mind which cannot bear to see the sufferings of others. The superior man, having seen the animals alive, cannot bear to see them die. Having heard their dying cries, he cannot bear to eat their flesh. Mencius. Essenes.
I am come to end the sacrifices and feasts of blood, and if ye cease not offering and eating of flesh and blood, the wrath of God shall not cease from you. Gospel of the Holy 12.
Hinduism. Since you cannot bring killed animals back to life, you are responsible for killing them. Therefore, you are going to hell. There is no way for your deliverance. Adalila.
He who desires to augment his own flesh by eating the flesh of other creatures lives in misery in whatever species he may take his birth. Mahabharata anew.
Islam. Allah will not give mercy to anyone except those who give mercy to other creatures. Hadith.
Do not allow your stomachs to become graveyards of animals. Hadith.
Jainism. A true monk should not accept such food and drink as has been specially prepared for him involving the slaughter of living beings. Sutrakatanga.
Judaism. And whatsoever man there be of the house of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, that eateth any manner of blood, I will even set my face against that soul that eateth blood, and will cut him off from among his people. Holy Bible. Blood meaning flesh.
Sikhism. Those mortals who consume marijuana, flesh, and wine, no matter what pilgrimages, fasts, and rituals they follow, they will all go to hell. Guru Granth Sahib.
Taoism. Do not go into the mountain to catch birds and nets, nor to the water to poison fishes and minnows. Do not butcher the ox that plows your field. Tract of the Quiet Way.
Tibetan Buddhism. The offering to the deities of meat obtained by killing animate beings is like offering a mother the flesh of her own child, and this is a grievous failure, the supreme path of discipleship.
Zoroastrianism. Those plants I, Ahura Mazda, or God, rain down upon the earth to bring food to the faithful and fodder to the beneficent cow. Avesta.
But what I mean is, this system is a little bit complicated for you. For example, we, the Oriental Buddhists, have a very strict calendar, like the first day of the month, the lunar month, first day of the month, the 15th of the month, and the end of the month extra, you eat vegetarian. And now if you are busy working man, a businessman or newspapersman, or you cannot always check in on this moon calendar. And you might not even have a moon calendar. You might only have the sun calendar. So it is difficult to know which day is what. So I suggest, as a sign, as a supportive sign of compassion towards our beings, we eat vegetarian whenever we remember, whenever convenient for our life. And that is already much, much better. Is that okay? Yeah? Thank you. And so, in this way, we are more relaxed in our mind and heart. Why? Because whenever we eat the meat, it is unavoidable that some of the hatred, anger, frustration in the animal's heart when he departs will be imposed upon, imprint upon our subconscious. And then we feel uneasy inside. Therefore, when we sleep in the night, we have nightmare. When we see the animals, they are frightened of us and run away. And when we are sick, it is difficult to cure because of all this hatred, anger, atmosphere which hang around the meat that we eat. Therefore, if we eat more vegetarian diet, then our heart, you have no bad conscience. That's right. No bad conscience. No guilty feeling. We have less guilty feeling in our subconscious mind, and we sleep better. We don't have so much nightmare. So you should try. It's better for your mind, for your heart, for your health, and everything.
Some of the benefits of a vegetarian diet: lowers blood pressure, lowers cholesterol levels, reduces type 2 diabetes, prevents stroke conditions, reverses atherosclerosis, reduces heart disease risk 50%, reduces heart surgery risk 80%, prevents many forms of cancer, stronger immune system, increases life expectancy up to 15 years, higher IQ, saves 70% of a total cost of $40 trillion for reducing global warming, uses 4.5 times less land to grow food, conserves up to 70% clean water, saves 80% of the cleared Amazonian rainforest from animal grazing. A solution for world hunger. Free up 3.4 billion hectares of land. Free up 760 million tons of grain every year, or half the world's grain supply. Consumes 1/3 fossil fuels of those used for meat production. Reduces pollution from untreated animal waste. Maintains cleaner air. Saves 4.5 tons of emissions per U.S. household per year. Stop 80% of global warming. Plus more. Save your life. Be veg. Go green.
Now, I don't read much newspapers as you do, except when I travel and I sit on the airplane for 15, 20, 30 hours and nothing else to do. And I cannot sleep that much and I cannot meditate so long. So I grab a newspaper and have a look. Every time I look at the newspaper, there's nothing good there. No news is good news. So the last time I was from Hong Kong here, and I looked in Newsweek and Times magazine. I saw all kind of disaster, hurricanes, catastrophe, crash airplane, murder, and diseases. There's some kind of diseases which we never know before in history. For example, the latest fashion of disease is a kind of worm which is incurable. The worm will eat a hole out. You will see the worm crawling from inside, crawling out from the hole. Can you imagine the whole body is full of such worms? And the physicians have no way to cure it. When I look at that, I feel nauseous, wants to vomit. Not because of the terrible sight, but because of the unbearable pity feeling for the patient. Normally, we have worms in the stomach, and that is already unbearable. Now, you have worms all over the body, and anytime it can eat the whole and then crawl out, let you have a look. And your veins and your blood and your flesh are full of worms. Can you imagine what kind of life would that be? So now, I think we are in good health condition and financial status. We should pray that God would never put us into this kind of situation, and that we should also prepare ourselves to be more clean, more receptive to God's protection, so that we would never fall into such pitiful state. And the best way is to try avoid indirect killing. For example, we eat meat. That is also indirect killing. If we don't eat meat, nobody kills. And in Buddhism, the law of cause and effect is absolute and exact. Whatever you do to others, it will be done to us in some way or another. Not only Buddhism, Christians say the same. As you sow, so shall you reap. And any other religion, you look carefully, you will see the law of karma, the cause and effect. Whatever you do, it will be done to you. Therefore, Confucius, Kongzi, he says, do not do to others what you do not desire for yourself. Because he also knows the law of cause and effect. Mean whatever you do, you will get the result, bad or good. So now we do not want any bad results, so we must start to do good things in order to get good results.
Some of the diseases related to meat consumption and/or production: swine flu, Ebola reston virus. Cured meats and fish increase leukemia risk in children. Antibiotic-resistant superbug infections from a strain of Staphylococcus aureus. Blue tongue disease, E. coli, salmonella, bird flu, mad cow disease or Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, 90% of the population at risk. Pig's disease or PMWS, listeriosis, shellfish poisoning, preeclampsia, Campylobacter, Clostridium difficile, diseases hidden in healthy appearing livestock. Some of the costs of meat eating. Infertility. Eating just one serving of meat per day increases the risk of women's infertility by 32%, with additional meat consumption increasing the risk. Heart disease. Over 17 million lives lost globally each year. Cost of cardiovascular disease is at least $1 trillion a year. Cancer. Colon rectal cancer. Over 1 million new colon cancer patients diagnosed each year, more than 600,000 colon cancer-related mortalities annually. In the United States alone, colon cancer treatment costs about $6.5 billion. Millions of people are newly diagnosed with other meat-related cancers every year. Diabetes. 246 million people are affected worldwide. An estimated $174 billion spent each year on treatment in just the United States. Obesity. Worldwide, 1.6 billion adults are overweight, with 400 million more who are obese. Costs $93 billion each year for medical expenses in the United States alone. At least 2.6 million people die annually from problems related to being overweight or obese. Environmental. Use up to 70% of clean water. Pollute most of the water bodies. Deforest the lungs of the earth. Uses up to 43% of the world's cereal. Uses up to 85% of the world's soy. Cause world hunger and wars. 80% cause of global warming. Plus more.
Some of the costs of milk consumption. Bacterial microbes, pesticides and enzymes found in cheese derived from the inner stomach linings of other animals. Up to 80% of the calories in cheese are from pure fat. Breast, prostate, and testicular cancer from hormones present in milk. Hysteria and Crohn's disease. Hormones and saturated fat leads to osteoporosis, obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. Linked to higher incidences of multiple sclerosis. Classified as a major allergen. Lactose intolerance. Plus more.
For more urgent information, please visit www.suprememastertv.com/killers.
I do not want to tell you much about the heavens and the hell. I just talk practically for your life. If we want a healthy mind, a good health, and a good conscience, a good night's sleep, then we should have more compassion towards other people, towards animals, because that is the result we will get. If we give others peace and security, then peace and security we will get. Now, you see, since childhood, I never kill anything. Not even ants, not even worms, not even birds. And I do not like to see killing. So you see, even though the Vietnam has so much disaster, so much killing and dying and problems, I have escaped. I have not been on the boat. I have not been in trouble. Why is that so? It must be because I have no hatred, no killing, no bad actions in my life. So I get the good treatment. So from my own experience, I can tell you that whatever good you do to others, it will be done to yourself. Now, not because I practice Kuan Yin method that I say so. No, before that, I already see the result of compassion. For example, in my countries, sometimes the children, they go and get the bird from the net and eat them and all this. I never participate. I always hate this and tell them not to do. And whenever I see the birds wounded, I always take him home and care for him until he get well and set him free. I think because of that, the animals are so friendly with me.
European Parliament supports reducing meat to lower greenhouse gases.
Call vote. Vote is now open.
Reduce your meat consumption or stop eating meat totally.
During discussions on greenhouse gas reduction goals, the Climate Committee of the European Parliament officially recognized livestock's contribution to global warming and recommended a reduction of subsidies to the livestock industry to curb methane.
The European Parliament has adopted its own position on climate change as an institution. And as a Vice President, one of the proposals I have made is in line with your own, which is that we should eat far less meat, because that's one of the major sources of greenhouse gases.
Tout le monde sait bien, si on veut rendre notre planète soutenable, il va falloir réduire notre consommation de viande, ça on le sait bien.
My name is Jens Holm. I'm a member of the European Parliament. Please, be veg, go green, save the planet.
When I was in Germany, one day, after reciting the Buddha's name, I go out, and the birds was coming to me and just fly to my nose and sit in there. And so I say, "What you want?" So the bird, chip, 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 it talked to me. And I keep staying there for a long, long time, and we talked for about half an hour. I do not know if the bird understands me or not, but I do not understand him. Anyhow, we keep talking, and it looks like a very lively conversation. Therefore, many people see us talking and then come out because we're so very close like this. And he never run away. It's like this. So everybody comes and have a look at this phenomena until the bird sees so many people and then he fly away. He was frightened of them, but he wasn't frightened of me. And when I was in India, I lived in the Himalaya, not in a good room, but in a mud house. It's made by mud, and then upstairs they put just a few stones which can drop down anytime because it's not a good structure. And the mud wall has thousands of holes in it. Therefore, the wind can come in and the star can shine through, and all the animals can come in and be my friends. Now, every day I wake up after meditation, there were at least 5 scorpions around, sitting there and meditate with me. Scorpions and, 1,000 feet. If they bite you, then goodbye. The scorpion's tail is very pointed. If they sting you once, and goodbye. Every day, scorpions and snakes, and they all sit around and meditate. And then when I got up, I saw so many friends. So I thought this is not a good place for them, because if I walk around and not careful, I will step on them. So every day I have to take a jar, a big jar, put them in, all of them, and then go for a walk, take them for a walk, and put them in a big rock, and there they disappear. So, you see, I think because I was so friendly with animals, so the animals were also friendly with me. Can you imagine? Animals are like that. If we are friendly to people, to all beings, to every people, to every beings, then no war in this world. So we begin today or tomorrow our peace program. We must begin by action. We must begin by withdrawing from killing instinct. We must begin to protect all life as much as our ability can. Peace begins with us, with me, with you, and then peace will be in the whole world. We cannot sit here and wait for whomever, president or whatever, peacemaker come and talk for us. No, we must decide it ourselves. Therefore, I think if we meditate and we minimize our intake of meat, then we'll become more peaceful within ourselves. And because we are more peaceful, we will radiate a kind of invisible, peaceful atmosphere around us, which affects everybody. And we do not talk about peace, peace will be. We don't have to advocate peace, peace will be. Is that agreeable? Thank you, thank you. Yes, if we keep ourselves purified, then we can be closer to God and to whatever the power that we believe. If we believe in God, we will get closer to God. If we believe in Buddha and we purify ourselves, we will get closer to the Buddha. And this is definite. I have tried it, so I remind you that we have our own goodness inside. Do not forget. We have God dwell within our body. Do not forget. We have Buddha in our heart. 佛在心嘛. Do not forget that. Do not forget we have God inside us. Do not forget we have Buddha nature within us. Seek that power to get up, to awaken, to help us. And you will get help. You will get blessing. May your blessing be with you. Please tell us more on your spiritual experiences in the Himalayas. We do not need to go to the Himalayas to have spiritual experiences. My spiritual experiences start also not in the Himalaya and doesn't end there. I have spiritual experience every minute, every second of my life, and I could not tell you everything. It's too long, too much, and it's also out of your expectation and imagination. I invite you to come to join us and do the same, and later you know yourself, and that is the best. What is the use if I keep talking about candy all the time, and it's me who eat it? You don't eat, so I think the more I talk, the more you water. Mouth watering. But I can tell you that I have experienced what, according to all the scriptures, call the highest experience. And then every day you develop even more. You do not stop at one level. You experience more and more each day. But the highest one I have experienced. That's all I can tell you. All right? It is true that if we meditate without proper guidance, we may go mad or under evil influence. Yes, it is true. It is true. So whatever I teach you, do not teach others. That's why our disciples are not allowed to tell their experience or the method of practice to the other people. Not because we have no compassion or want to keep something secret, no. It is because the students have not yet enough sufficient power to protect their so-called student. Therefore, I do not teach indiscriminately. Therefore, I just mentioned to you that if you do not eat vegetarian, then you should meditate half an hour only. And because I am teaching you this basic and small method, I am also responsible for you. So whenever you have trouble in meditation, you might call my help. You might call my name, and then I might help you. Then you won't have any trouble. It's not that you do it alone. I will be with you. You don't need to come to me. You tell me in your head is enough. Yeah, I know.
Supreme Master Ching Hai's lectures are not a complete meditation instruction. Please do not try alone. For free of charge guidance, please visit www.godsdirectcontact.org or contact any of our centers near you.
Terima kasih kerana bersama kami dalam episod Kata-Kata Hikmat hari ini. Bersamalah kami lagi esok untuk bahagian terakhir, biar kedamaian bermula dengan kita. Seterusnya ialah pengembaraan melalui alam estetik, sejurus selepas berita yang wajar diberi perhatian di Supreme Master Television. Semoga anda dilimpahi berkat Tuhan. Thank you for joining us on today's episode of Words of Wisdom. Please join us again tomorrow for the conclusion of Let Peace Begin With Us. Up next, a journey through aesthetic realms, right after noteworthy news on Supreme Master Television. We wish you a blessed week filled with an abundance of God's grace.
For more details, please visit www.suprememastertv.com/WOW